business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. You know you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat with Nichelle for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake us like that. We've been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Nisha here with Neeshasnetwork, and I'm super excited to be here with none other than my niece. She is my family, none other than Nichelle Joi. And today we're going to be talking about children are destined to publish too. And the reason I say that is because this young lady has been published since the age of 8 years old. And I am just so excited to have her here. She is now 15 years old. And I dressed colorful for her. Now I told her I'm not gonna treat her too bad because she's not a morning person. So we are here in the morning, but she is not a morning person, but has to go to school every day. So if you guys are watching and you have little people, teenagers, young adults, or adults, and you are ready to publish, this is your time to join in on this conversation. I'm so excited to have her here. So please feel free to go ahead and share. So, Nichelle, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How you feeling this morning?
I'm tired.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me see. Brighten those eyes, girl, because we want to let people know who you are and exactly what you have going on. And I knew this would be a struggle for you, but that's okay. I wasn't worried about it. All right. So here we go. Look, aunties can make people do anything, right? But no, I'm super excited to celebrate. We celebrating Women's History Month in the month of March. And I was like, you know what better way than to celebrate with a up and coming woman, a young lady who's growing into womanhood, but also who is very accomplished. And so, and to say that you have published since the age of 8 years old is absolutely amazing. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Nichelle Joi. I'm 15 years old and a sophomore in high school currently. Not to flex, but my grades are good, you know. I,
Good.
I am the author of 3 books, one being The Great Adventures, one being The Joys of Writing, and then one being my latest book, Beautiful Brown Child. And then things I like to do. I'm a violinist, so I like to play violin. I'm a dancer, and I recently discovered that I really like filmmaking. So, yeah.
Well, that's really good to know. I'm going to be looking you up. So I need you to lean in just a little bit to the microphone because there's a big echo on my end. I don't know why. But anyway, so let's go ahead and then talk about what you're a reader. You have to be a reader. Sometimes, well, I shouldn't say that. Most people that write, though, like to read. So tell me a little bit about, do you like to read? I know your mom's a publisher, but tell us a little bit about reading, first of all.
Yeah, so really, I still hear the echo too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but really reading. I've always loved reading, mostly because of the visualizations I get in my head. So not necessarily because I like reading words on a page, but because I like seeing the movie play out in my head, you know. So it never has really been like a chore or like a struggle for me, really. If you give me a book and like say, here, read this, it's good, I'm like, okay. So really I do love reading. And that's what I also think I find really powerful about writing, the fact that I can make those images like appear in other people's heads. That sounded really manipulative, but yeah.
Doesn't sound manipulative. But most people that have a creative imagination, they can, while people are talking, actually visualize what's actually going on. So what made you decide to write the book at the age of 8 years old? Like what did you say, mommy, I want to write a book? How did that happen?
See, absolutely not. I had like no like intention in my head of writing a book really, but it started out with a school project. So really the assignment was to write something, and instead of writing the little paragraph that she like thought we were gonna make, I made a whole page. So yeah, and then my mom was like, "Oh, well, you do love to write and stuff," and I was like, "I do." And I wrote these little short stories because those were the easiest to write at the time instead of a long story with all these chapters. And then that became the joys of writing.
Yeah, I have my joys of writing. And all of these books, you guys, are available on Amazon, just so you'll know. But so you started, and what was the response as you being an 8-year-old published author? Tell us what that was like.
Really different, like people, you don't see an 8-year-old author every day. And I'm only now realizing that. Like at the time I thought it was normal and like, why are you guys freaking out or whatever? And no, like they were really genuinely surprised. So a lot of my teachers, they like to like, acknowledge it, like, oh, you're an author, right? And then they announce it to the class and I'm like, well. So
tell me a little bit about why you're so passionate about becoming published. Not just because your mom is a publisher, but really what enthuses you and says, you know what, I'm passionate about this.
Really the kids, like I have, as I have like a lot of little people in my life that I love to like hang around and stuff, and they mean a lot to me. So like seeing them, especially for the first time, like when we were all little kids or whatever, seeing them like read my first book, like that did something. I was like, aw. And then like you get emotional because like they're reading something you read like wrote as a kid, and like just to see them possibly get inspired to do something like that on their own, that just means like a whole lot to me. So
that's really awesome. So you know what, as a 15-year-old, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and just ask you, what do you think needs to be instilled in the short people today? I remember when you were 8 and 9, and so now you're 15. Tell me what you think needs to happen with the way the world is going and how technology has really just over consumed the minds of young people. In some ways it's good, but some ways it's really gotten really tough. What do you think, as a teenager? And I know getting up in the morning may be your struggle and your mom may yell at you for that. But I mean, for overall, you get good grades, you're a published author, you're a violinist, you're a dancer. What else do you think should parents do? What could you recommend as a teenager to say, you know what, I think kids need more of this, or, maybe this? Tell me what you think.
Definitely representation. And I've like lived by this for a long time, and that's also what inspired my third book. Seeing people that look like you do something that you like to do, like that does a lot. Like when I was raised in like a predominantly like white neighborhood, and seeing only dancers that didn't look like me, that weren't shaped like me and stuff, that didn't go through the same stuff as me, that was hard because I was like, can I really do this? Seeing authors that didn't look like me anyway, that's hard to see. So like when you see other people do stuff that you like to do, it just does something in your brain, and it just like tells you to do it more. It tells you to get better, it tells you to be like them. So definitely just like including a lot of representation in everything they do, like the movies they watch, the books they read, the anything. Disney has like a whole bunch of new representative shows coming out. Put those on the TV for whoever. Just yeah, really encouraging representation and seeing or having your kids see like people that look like them a lot more often.
So having people look like them often, what is one of the things, like, as a Christian young lady, is the struggle? You know what I mean? So, because look, I'm gonna challenge you to write something to say what it's like to be a Christian as a teenager. I don't know, but I just like to hear, like, what is that struggle? Because there doesn't seem to be many standards, and you publishing definitely raises a standard to say, hey, you don't just have to follow the crowd. You don't just have to get involved in things that are crazy. But, it's very difficult depending upon, like you said, the environment and what's represented to people. So how do you make a difference even in your high school?
It's not easy because kids aren't nice. Like I've known that since I was like little. Kids are not nice at all. But luckily, like as you grow, people start to like mind their business more. So you don't have to really worry about people being all up in yours necessarily, but you do, or a lot of times, at least as a teenager, you do worry about like people, what they're going to think about you, you know? But I don't really even have like advice for that. You just got to push past that, you know, like stop caring what people think because half the time they're not going to care, you know? So that's really like the words of advice that I've stuck to in my head ever
That's
since.
really good. That's really good. That's good advice. Well, you guys, if you joined us, we're here with Nichelle Joi. Not a morning person, but that's okay. She got up to share with us the joys of writing and also The Beautiful Brown Child, which is one of my favorites so far. Of course, it's the most recent, right?
Yes.
But I love that you included, you know, people that you knew. And so one of the things I want to talk about is, you know, through writing about The Beautiful Brown Child, and you're multicultural, so it's not like you're just stuck on the brown child. But what benefits were you trying to like? What did you want kids to benefit from by writing this book? Because you got
Um,
all shades of brown on here.
yeah, you know, like just seeing themselves somewhere. You know, like I do understand like now shows have a lot of things coming out with like different colored people on there, but those shows are mainly focused on like one group, you know, and I didn't really like that. You know, I said I want everyone to be able to see themselves because they go through stuff too, no matter like who went through more, no matter what happened, that doesn't matter. Okay, we're all like going through stuff, and I wanted every kid of color to like be able to see themselves in a book and be like, oh, here I am, you know, like to have at
Yeah.
least something. Because
Yes.
now like African American kids, we might have like a whole bunch of books, but like Polynesian kids, they might not have any, you know?
Wow.
So I just wanted at least one book for them to look at.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I love this, and I want to just tell our viewers basically what I love is it says what God's word says about me, and she has scriptures in the back. It says, "I am loved and chosen," and then there's a scripture, "I am beautifully created. I am never alone." And use these pages to write your thoughts of what you've learned and how you feel. And I think, oh, I can't see real good. Let's see if we can put that over there. There we go. So, you know, what is the importance of it? It's almost like you're immediately trying to get them to go ahead and put their thoughts to paper. Was that intentional?
Very much so. Very much so.
So, who affirmed you? Let's talk about affirmations. Who affirmed you? What made you be so confident in knowing that you could be a publisher and an author? I mean, a publisher. See here, I'm you taking over your mom's business. A published author. What was your affirmation? Tell me about what brings you affirmation.
See, really, the environment I was in, you know, my family, they tried to uplift me like as much as possible, especially growing up like in predominantly white neighborhood and then coming to a more black neighborhood where kids weren't nice, you know? And then really, other than them, if I'm being completely honest, it was bullies. Like they made me become more confident because
Wow.
I had to realize they're gonna keep going, you know, like this isn't gonna stop. So that goes back to what I said before, you know, like you need to realize for yourself, like your own morals and stuff. You need to realize for yourself that other people don't care, you know, and even if they do, you got to act like they don't. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I know bullying has become very more prominent, I guess, in this day and time. And it's a silent bully. Like, why do you think that the kids don't really say anything about it? I found that even some in my own family where the kids were being bullied and they literally just kept it to themselves or amongst their peers. They never talked to the parents. Do you feel like parents are not a safe space to really kind of share about the bullying? Why do you think kids keep it to themselves?
I don't want to say that parents aren't a safe space because parents are a safe space, but I want to say that kids today don't consider their parents a safe space, if that makes sense, you know. And that definitely, like, you know, I have to tie this to phones, you know, to electronics. You know, people make fun of people and they don't want to tell their parents because I don't know, they have their own personal reasons, but especially because a lot of it goes on through phones, you know, I feel like that has a different connection than
Okay.
bullying in real life. You know, it
Okay.
kind of, if not hurts more than just hits different on your phone or on an electronic device, you know.
Wow. 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 Well, okay, so I'm going to ask you another question then. So how do you feel about so technology is the cell phone, but how do you feel about social media? You know what I mean? Because we know we need social media to advertise, right? We know we need social media to be known and like we're here today. But what do you think are some of the what age? Here we go. What age do you think that you should be on social media? What is the starting age where you think, and don't think as a published author. I just want you to think as a 15-year-old. What do you think? Tell me.
This is kind of hard because I wasn't allowed to have social media since I was like last year. So this might be a little biased, or maybe not. But in my personal opinion, if every like parent in the world were to like follow this restriction, it would be like age 13.
Okay, 13. And but then you're not restricted to what you're opened up to. But do you feel like you're opened up to it at school anyway? So,
Basically, but that's also because other kids have that same social media, and they show you stuff anyways. You're either way, you're kind of being exposed to it, but that's why I said like if every parent in the world like were to follow it, then yeah, I guess you definitely would like be exposed to a lot like at the same time.
okay, all right. I know we got off, you guys. We're a little bit with Nichelle Joi, but it's not often I get to talk to a woman of history, a young woman of history that is a published author and a 15-year-old to get into that mind, really to understand the dynamics of not just the accomplishments, but the confidence that she has not only in Christ, but in her community, to the point that she wrote Beautiful Brown Child. And I love this book, you guys. Because it speaks to every brown child that's of different nationalities and ethnicities. So, what advice would you give someone getting ready to publish? What do you think, if there's even a thought in their mind, or a parent that may see, I think my kid is onto something? What advice would you give them?
Stay dedicated, like if you're gonna do it, then you gotta do it. It's like every other thing. If you're gonna get it, if you're gonna get better at it, then don't don't slack. You got to work for it. You got to be dedicated. Am I saying it's hard? Not necessarily. I'm just saying that you can't sidetrack and try and be focused on something else while trying to do your book. If you're going to do your book, you got to do your book. Try and get it done. So that's the main thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is the difference? When you start writing, do you start out with paper and pen, or do you start out with a laptop?
Personally, because I was raised in the technology generation, it's always been laptop for me. I don't mind writing with like paper and pen. Will it get tiring eventually? Yes, but I think I've written all of these books on laptop, like in a Google Doc under my school account. So
At 8 years old?
yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm blown away by that, because most 8-year-olds don't know how to type, but I guess you do, huh? You're learning early. So look, I am old, clearly. But so you told people to remain dedicated, but let's speak from a parental standpoint. And I know you're not a parent yet, but what do you think parents can do to inspire their children to write?
Once again, representation. If you're not showing them me, then show them Maya Angelou, and show them all of these other people. And even if that doesn't like influence your kid to be like, oh, I want to do that, show them the money. Like,
ooh, show them the money. Come on now. Come on.
As
kids tell us about you got some paid. You got paid a little bit of money there, girl.
Love it.
Okay. That is wonderful. Oh my gosh. Show them the money, show them the opportunity, show them, put them in the face of those who can actually do it. So are you thinking about doing a conference for children?
Definitely. Yeah. And we've been talking about this for like a really long time, trying to get details together, especially with Corona though. This might be a concern. So we're trying to like see online, in person, what we're gonna do. So it's definitely coming in the future. Yeah.
Yes, I think that would be so amazing, because there's so many people that probably don't even. I mean, it would be great if they could walk away with just a title and ideas of a cover. Now, what inspired you with the covers of your book, your illustrations? Did you know what you wanted in illustrations, or did you draw some pictures yourself? Tell us what you did.
See, I had no clue with any of these books, like what I wanted for the cover. Like that's one of my biggest struggles, trying to find like the cover page. And that's okay. But
Interesting,
really,
because you said, hold on, I'm gonna stop you, because you said that you have this movie playing in your head, like a video, you're visualizing. So it's difficult to pull that out and put it in the illustration of what you're looking for.
yeah, I mean, it's easy to see the storyline of the movie, but it's not easy to see like the cover of the movie. It's not easy to see the final movie poster or the final movie ad, that you're going to put out there. And that's a pretty hard decision, because how are you going to do that with like so many ideas in the plot?
Oh,
So
wow. That's good. That's good. Well, what advice, let's talk about advice you're going to give moving forward. You know what I mean? What does your future look like? And what advice can you offer the future authors of this world? Young authors. I'm speaking to young authors.
just have fun. That's the biggest thing that you can do. If you don't enjoy doing it, then stop doing it, because that's going to make your life so miserable. I like writing, and that's why I write. Did I expect for it to become a book? No, it just made me a few extra bucks, So, and I got to like see other people read it. So if you don't like to do it, don't do it. If being an author might not be your thing, and that's okay. Just find what you like to do like the most and make the most of that as much as you can.
Well, I think then one more thing that I think is you always come with a message. Even though it's fun, there's a message behind every book you've written. And I think that stands out as well. So I would hope that, parents would encourage their children to pay attention to what's instilled in your children, and then develop that gift, that they may have a message, and let them know you have a message to tell. And I have to say, she has a 3-time published author, but at the same time, Beautiful Brown Child definitely has a message. And so the messages are, all of our children have a message to deliver. It's whether or not we're allowing them to deliver it. So definitely, you know what? Start being encouraged, and encouraging your children and your grandchildren to write a story. I say they have to write in school anyway. Find out if their story is so imaginative that you want to publish it. And then they are reminded of that they are destined to publish too. And that's really what I wanted to share, is that children are destined to publish too. It's not just the adults. It's not just teenagers, but the little people. Nichelle started at 8 years old, you guys, with a essay, I guess you said, right? Writing a story for school assignment. Take those school assignments, everyone, and make sure you're looking at them and say, you know what, this needs to be published, and challenge them to write things with the message. You know what I mean? I think incentives. Maybe you should do a contest, Nichelle. Oh, this is such a good idea. Nisha's Network on this display right now. You should do a contest and have a prize for the best first, second, and third writer, and have them do an entry. Oh my goodness, that's such a great idea. Are you writing it down?
Write this down, yeah.
That is such a great idea to inspire kids all over the world. So coming soon to a date near you, Nichelle Joi is going to offer an author's writing contest where you can enter your children starting at what age?
Age 8.
Age 8. What's the cutoff?
Age 8 to age 16.
Okay, age 8 to 16. So of course they will be categorized, you guys, because we'd have to put the 8-year-olds to the 8 to 10, and then this is so exciting. Okay, coming soon, you guys, 2022, a writing contest. This will be so amazing, and we're gonna have some amazing prizes. And Nisha's Network will be one of the sponsors, because we know that kids are destined to publish too. Nichelle, thank you for waking up for your auntie. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Published author 3 times, and on the way to 4, and on the way to just offering that contest, you guys. What is the name of your business?
My mom's business, Destined to Publish.
No, I said, what's the name of your business?
Nichelle
it needs to be Destined to Publish too. Boom.
I like it.
Destined to Publish too. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. You guys, reach out, go to Amazon.com, look for Nichelle Joi's books. You won't be disappointed as you see them. There are several of them there, but just look up her name on Amazon, Nichelle Joi. And we can't wait to see more and hear more from her. This is exciting. I love you and I'm proud of you, and keep shining for Jesus, and then also keep shining in the world and sending out messages. Be on the lookout for more of Nichelle Joi, you guys. Have a great day. Hold on, Nichelle.
Yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. Yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. You know you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on